inclusive schools are built one at a time. There is not a single route to becoming more inclusive. Schools have to work with the strengths that they have, because often becoming more inclusive is a struggle, and not every teacher will see it as part of their responsibility. For too many years, people who've made their careers in additional support needs, in special educational needs, have wanted to own these difficulties themselves. They want to see it as only their professional responsibility, and of course other colleagues were often quite happy for that to be the case. We would argue that all teachers have to take responsibility for the learning of pupils in their classroom. And that is a central feature of one of the things that research is telling us about successful inclusive schools, that we're all in it together. We all have to be responsible, and we can all make a difference to children's learning. And that is the task of every teacher. We can list a set of features and skills and knowledge that teachers need. But if I were to reduce it into the crucial aspects of what is required, first, know the children. Know their interests, know who they are and where they're coming from, and crucially, know what it is they already know and can do, and teach accordingly. The other aspect is, how do we give high quality formative feedback to children so that they can improve their learning? This links closely in with new initiatives such as Assessment is for Learning. I think also there are links between Assessment is for Learning and metacognition. Increasingly we recognise that when children can learn about learning, they become far more successful learners and they become independent learners. The next aspect of crucial knowledge for teachers here, and also it involves teachers maybe changing the way they think about their own practice, is the notion of the development of evidence-based practice. Current buzz term, but what does it mean? It means that teachers don't always accept the first explanation for a difficulty in their classroom that comes into their head. There may be an important message here coming from a child or from children about what's happening in the classroom. So in the words of Susan Hart in her book Thinking Through Teaching, she says, stop and reconsider an alternative explanation for what it is that happened in your classroom. Why are the children responding in that way? What are the messages for me as a teacher? And the ability to respond to that in a creative way, I think, is at the heart of good teaching. So there isn't a simple list of skills and knowledge that teachers need to know, other than start with the pupils and teach accordingly.